Welcome, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here. And of course, we're playing Hearts of Iron 4 with the new DLC by Blood Alone, and it focuses on Italy, so we're playing as Italy. I will be, I think, sometime in the new year, which this is just a week or so before Christmas, making this. So, fairly soon. Be looking at what mods have made it out and are in good shape to play for this DLC. I'm thinking possibly Black Ice or World Ablaze, or hey, if you have something else to recommend for mostly historical based type mod to play, love to hear it. So we're going to be looking at that. But I had a thought, and sort of as a hook for the live stream today, and I don't know how many people want to participate. And yes, I see. Oh, good. I see Arno has chatted over on kick.com, which I'm over there experimenting with that. Good. I see that chat over there. Got to remember to look at that half of the screen, just in case somebody else shows up there. Was fascism good for Italy? Was Mussolini good for Italy? As a controversial topic. Now, ultimately, we can readily say, or readily just say, well, getting into World War II and losing and all that crap is terrible for Italy. All the bomb damage, the soldiers killed, the civilians killed, and all of that. So yeah, that, and again, it gets to whatever good they might have done is completely outweighed by the war. And no, I am not a fascist. I do not support fascism. If you think I'm trying to, let's look at our. Okay, we're building railways down into here. We can see this here. We're building. The supply are getting ready to go to war with Greece, so that we're not having to ship supplies across the sea, which belongs, of course, like all the world's oceans back then, to Britain. All right. Well, let's look at our current needs. We are down on fighters. You're going to have to lock your version for mod usage, since they are operating things which was done like 2 version update in the last month. Yeah, I know. I know I may have to revert back. I was talking to right on the tip of my tongue, I'm missing it. The creator, it was a few weeks ago, the creator of, or the lead developer for World Ablaze mod, and that he is working with not the sort of most recent, the sort of brief update, but the with the Blood Alone main free update. You're working with that to get everything up to speed there. And so I might have to revert back one. I'll see what they have and what's ready, and what it'll sometime in January, hopefully fairly early in January. Okay, we're going to expand fighter production. I think we need to do that. Where are my Italian fighters? Interwar small frame fighters. We need to get to better fighters. And no, I'm not good at. We've got to main armament. Okay. Well, maybe that's what basic carrier, basic small frame. Improve small frame. So if I come in here, maybe I should be doing this. Fighter weapons. 4 heavy machine guns. 4 light machine guns. Air attack. Air attack. Design cost. Production cost. Do I care about a 1-point production cost for a better air attack? And also ground striking if I want to. Okay, we're gonna save that. Why? Oh well. Why don't they use this? Maybe it's a bug. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're getting 1 a day. We're going to go to improve Fulgari lightning, I believe in English, and we're going to from not seeing the wrench symbol here. Well, we'll go over to this, which will be a big hit to production ability, but hopefully we'll get it up there. And now that we've done that, we've got these guys still building here. Okay, a railroad. Let's look a little bit more. Got a big potential supply depot. Now that's coming down just through here, and we could of course expand there, but I think we want to come down to there we go. That way we can come down along the coast through our controlled air territory and get railway there. All right, fascism. I am not the best expert on fascism. It is, of course, a term thrown around. You should be able to change the model picture in the designer. Okay, well, maybe I can. Let me go in and, you know, I have not played with this, do that, this any more than I have for the live stream. Here, okay, well, let's go for that. There we go. Save. Now when I come here. Yeah, okay, that looks sort of like what I'm expecting a period. Thanks. Thank you, Turn. Hello? You know, I've been just saving playing for HOI IV with you guys live, so I'm maybe a bit behind from people who've actively been playing it a lot with the latest update. And so people throw around the term fascist a lot. You know, they call people like Franco a fascist. He wasn't. They call people like Hitler a fascist. He wasn't. They both have different ideologies from each other. Neither of them are fascist. If you want to throw around the term like authoritarian, Franco was definitely an authoritarian. I'm not in any way trying to suggest some sort of liberal or, you know, liberal democratic type viewpoint there. It isn't like, oh, when I say he's not a fascist, Franco. And you know, people, if you look at Soviet propaganda in the 70s and 80s, they call like America fascist. You know, if you use the term too, you know, liberally too everywhere, it loses its meaning entirely. So it's it's that kind of thing that I worry about doing. Okay, let's get these guys down here. Let's look at supply, because I'm going to keep talking, but I'm also going to try to keep playing here. Okay, now we are building that. We're preparing some roads down in Siwa and Dalmatia. Dalmatia, I care about Shirwa, which I think is down here, but don't really care about that. Maybe Shirwa somewhere else, who knows. Okay, well, we've got basic level, you know, railroads down through here, which of course aren't very much, but it's something. Question is, should I build in bigger, heavier? Now they need to go to a supply depot, which we have a few around. That's fairly big, and it should be keeping these guys reasonably well fed. Okay, well, no, that didn't work out right. Let's right, and from there we go. And what we're sort of waiting on is some of this for our invasion here. So we're pushing there. We're not going to push too early on into Greece. So not every dictator, not every right-wing dictator, most of them are not fascist. Some of them are. Mussolini and a few other thinkers are the creators of fascism. Fascism clearly comes out of socialism. Mussolini, his name is Benito Mussolini. His parents, both of his parents, were hardcore socialist, in that they were activists, shall we say. I don't know all their roles. I don't want to try to describe something they weren't, but they were activist types. I don't know if you want to call them revolutionaries or some other term. Maybe. Like I say, I don't know enough about to try to subscribe a more particular role to them, but they were hardcore socialist activists, and they named their son after Benito Juarez, a Mexican liberal left president. So that is where he gets his name. I don't know if I don't know if Benito is a more of a Spanish name or more of an Italian, or if there's a distinction, I don't know. But that's where he gets his name. He is also the publisher and basic sort of owner or whatever of the largest socialist publication, largest as in circulation, publication in Italy. It is through his experiences in World War I he becomes disenchanted with socialism. The left and socialists hate to hear this. They hate fascism for various reasons, and they hate the idea that they're... Uh-oh, we're being invaded down here. Okay, well, so far, so good. Let's move you down and march you down in action. Okay, we're going to move this second storm. Yeah, okay, they're doing ground support. So are we getting? Well, they're. Oh, yeah, we are. They're not. We are getting. I was looking at this side first. We are getting air support. Because they don't want people to realize their opposition is just or the people. Oh shit! Why the hell did you land over here? And you come there. Let's see if we can take this unit out. And we will send one division to attack there. And they don't like the idea that should send them back up afterwards. They hate apostates. They hate, and it goes, Stalin during this time period, up until the end of World War II, got, from the 1920s, when Stalin gets into power, until, about 1939 or something, Stalin gets control by any means necessary. And when you hear various left groups today often say any means necessary, they mean it. Don't ever let them kid you. They don't. Any means necessary. If they can get it legally, they'll do it legal means. But if legal means don't work, well then they'll do it by other means. Now let's look here. Oh, we are no. All right, we are here. Okay. Oh, yes. Pause. Okay, we have a pretty good supply hub there, but a rail network coming down through here. Naval base, Tobruk, supply demands divisions. Just in case if we ever lose Tobruk, let's build a supply. Oh, no way. I think I clicked. Was I still not there? There. That's what I wanted to do. Build a supply hub back there. Now I've had to downgrade my system because I'm upgrading my system. And I've taken out my nice graphic card. So you may be hearing some sirens in the background that you might not normally hear. And Stalin gets control of all communist political organizations basically in the world often by through assassination and intimidation of the rest, that you don't get to be a Trotskyite. You don't get to be anything else, all except for one, and that would be the Maoist organization in China. And as far as I know, that is a correct statement. I may be incorrect about it, but like I say, as far as I know, that is a correct statement. I'm mostly just ignoring this down here, but just checking this out. They've got a source of supply here. Well, they had one while they had Addis Ababa. They just lost Addis Ababa, so they probably no longer have a source of supply down here. So these guys are maybe doomed to them. Well, maybe getting a little bit of supply there, but they maintained Addis Ababa. They could have maintained out here, but these are, and if we can look here, mostly these are, junk templates of one sort or another. Is it war at your place? All those sirens? No. Just, I don't know, just sirens going somewhere. But Stalin was not trying to go after, say, Russia, or not as strongly going after Russian Tsarist exile organizations. He was afraid of communist organizations that weren't, whether they were Russian backed or others, whether they weren't, if they weren't in line with his philosophy and more or less under his control. The Tsarists might see them as something of a danger. I'm not suggesting he didn't. I'm just stating that his big danger was, as he saw it, was apostates, was an alternative communism, and the left, the communists, the socialists, they both sort of, to some degree or another, rub along with each other. My analysis is, and I mean, it's influenced by other people for sure, it's not just something I came up with, but my analysis is that socialists and communists believe in the same basic end result. It's just socialists are gradualists and want to get there over years or possibly generations. Communists are revolutionaries. Do it now. No reason to wait a year, a month, any other amount of time. So it is just at the speed, shall we say, to achieve a communism. Okay, Western Balkans. We want to move you over Greece, though you won't go over Greece until you are in war. Now up here we have these fighters. So far, I don't think anybody's really challenging us up here, so we're going to move you down here. And we're going to put you up over here once the war starts. So this is, in many ways, not in all ways, but in many ways, the fascists and the socialists are fighting over the same, voting support. So this is why they don't want to acknowledge the similarities in their viewpoint. And I've vacillated on whether I want to call fascism and Nazism as right-wing or left-wing. I know there's a bunch of people that want to lump them in with socialists and communists. Fascists and Nazis, as well as communists for sure, are radicals. And I would also say a lot of the socialists are radicals. I know this, I say it a moment ago that they're gradualists, and I believe they're gradualists, but that doesn't mean that they don't. They just they're communists with some moral sense, some moral ability to understand that you shouldn't kill millions of people to achieve your goal, kind of thing. Meaning, we got to do it slowly over time. We'll get there. People shouldn't have to die just to implement our ideology. Where communists are, well, hey, if we got to kill 1 million people, whatever. We got to kill 20 million people. Well, if it's necessary, that's the communists, because that's what they've done. And the Nazis have killed huge numbers of people as well, millions. So it's, and I'm not just talking in the wars in which they fought. I'm talking against populations they controlled. So, I do separate those numbers out. So yeah, fascism comes out of socialism, but fascism is different from socialism in several ways, or the general tone. It is so it might be considered not conservative, but right-wingism. It might be. Fascism is a type of socialism. I would say that clearly. But fascism is a hierarchical society viewpoint, not a leveling. Meaning they're not trying to make everybody equal in... we're losing these guys pretty soon. Trying to make everybody equal in fascist Italy or somewhere else. But they're trying to make... we got a ally in Romania now. Cool. Joins the Axis. Well, cool. We've got more allies. They are doing huge social welfare and huge collectivism elements within fascism. So, because Mussolini, like I say, and I'm going a little back here a bit, gets disenchanted with the socialists for several reasons. And again, I'm not an expert, but I'm just sort of drawing broad brush pictures here. One, with World War I, he changes from being an internationalist, meaning a communist or a socialist believes that people are people and national identities are in essence evil. You can look at George Bernard Shaw, who was a very highly evil man, highly regarded by socialists today. So, and you can find him highly regarded by the Fabian Society, in which some of the recent British Labour Party prime ministers have been members of the Fabian Society in Britain. So it's not, I'm not talking about some obscure group. And George Bernard Shaw is on film with audio stating something as basically as evil as Hitler ever said or did, in that he thought that that every year that you should have to come before a person, stand before their desk, and the person would ask you, "Sir or madam, are you a contributor? Are you a net contributor to society?" And I'm almost quoting him here. And if the answer is yes, well then go have a nice day. If the answer is no, there's your death chamber. He was a believer in extermination camps, extermination groups for for people that were a burden on society. So, he was a Fabian socialist. Fabian socialist. Their logo used to be, I know they've changed it to like a rose or something, but used to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, in a fake sheepskin thing. So when I say communists and socialists are in essence the same thing, and I'm, whether I'm upsetting anybody here live or, okay, that's what we've been waiting for that to happen, or watching later on YouTube, well, too bad, because I'm looking at, and whether you think in these terms or not, this is who you are supporting by being a socialist. Okay, so here's what we want to do here. 35 days war with Greece. That's why we were doing Italian irredentism. I hope we have enough troops here to push in. We will see. We are widening the war. Germany keeps attacking here, and no, I don't support the attacks. I haven't been getting ready for Greece. We're going to take out Greece, and then we'll see what we can do. Maybe I don't know if we'll ever get Rhodes back or do other naval invasions. We will see. That's where we're heading. So yes, when I see people that try to hide, and George Bernard Shaw was one of the people that was very, very nationalism, or nationalistic, meaning he wanting to get rid of national identities and nation states. Where is there a large movement to get rid of nation states? Whereabouts do they want to, have a common market? No, common a union and get rid of nation states. Oh, EU. So, yeah. And so they want to get rid of nation states. World War I and nationalism, or patriotism, national identity, as well as with Mussolini, gets him out from being a socialist, as well as I think a realization that the idea that everyone should have equal pay, equal housing, either everyone has a car or no one has a car, or every student gets a piece of gum or no students get a piece of gum, that just really isn't. We're trying to do their current mission. Don't know if there's anything else here I should or do. Regional-wide integration. What would this do? Industrial land appropriation. Create collaboration with government, independent state of Croatia. No, we don't want to do that. So, like I say, he realizes that trying to make everybody equal is not a positive element, or maybe it's not a practical element. So he gives up on that, and he creates fascism. Mussolini, and again a few other thinkers. I don't want to put it all into Mussolini's thought. I know he contributes considerably to it, to the thinking of it. It isn't just him glomming onto somebody else's ideology, but it is also not him alone either. So I want to keep that clear. So it's a mix How close are we getting? Okay, still got a ways. I know I'm playing sort of slow because I'm sort of watching things and not letting it get out of hand. Here, I'm again, like I say, these guys are dying from lack of supply and whatnot now. But they've occupied all of these units for a long time around them. And I wish if I micromanaged it, I might have been able to save out of Sababa for some time more, but we will see. Let's look at supply map. Okay, so we're moving supplies in across these oceans, which we're losing. But we keep convoys, but we do have, you can see we need 29 convoys currently, and we have 778 of them, so we're doing okay with building and stockpiling beyond our losses. So that is okay, because like we can see here, that didn't lose anybody, that we lost a bomber on, so, and nothing really down there. Okay, so I think I've reasonably well established that fascism is a type of socialism. It might be legitimate to call it a right-wing socialism as opposed to left-wing socialism. It's definitely a hierarchical socialism. Looking back, we don't have good railways. Maybe I just didn't click that right. So I wanted to get a level 2 railways coming north out of Rome from Venice down to Trieste, down through Istria, down along the Dalmatian coast, down into here. And we'll see about more once we come into Greece. Hello, Chaos Demon. How you doing? You're a bot. Hey, Arno, there's a... Oh, you've already got him. I'm just seeing it over on Restream. You've already got it. Very good, Arno. Arno is an excellent moderator. So I'm very appreciative of having him there. So I think I've demonstrated that clearly. Not that they believe the same thing, but they're both socialistic viewpoints. Fascism, yes. You like your sword, yes, and you use your sword well. You use your sword well, and I really appreciate because I gave swords to a few other people, just because I didn't know who was going to be around the most, and even because some days maybe you might not be here, and maybe somebody else with a sword might show up. And I'm still willing to give swords to other people, but most of them don't use their swords because they're either not around enough or just not paying close enough attention. But Arno both has a sword and uses it well, appropriately. Mostly banning bots or warning people that are really getting out of hand. And so, I'm always, I don't want to flood the place with moderators, but I don't want Arno to be the only moderator or even the only active moderator. So, he isn't on everywhere, but we will see about that. Are we getting any? Okay, we sunk a sub. Good. British sub. They sunk 3 of our convoys, 3 more 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 of our okay, are we not clearing this out? Or are these dismiss? Okay, I want to make sure, because I don't know if we're just calling up the same battle over and over, or if those were consecutive battles there. I don't know. But I'm trying to control this with some of my air capabilities here. A couple of moderators is good. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Yes. No, you're absolutely right, Arno. Too many would be a crowd. And it all depends on the site number of viewers as well. I mean, quite honestly, it does does depend on that. Okay, well, let's look at the railways. I want to make sure we get to all the way down to here, all the way along here to make sure. I mean, I know we could more and more build up, but I wanted to at least do that so that we are carrying a modest amount of supplies via the rails as needed. Okay. So far we're doing okay down here. We do have, and I will get back to resources. We do have some oil down here. Benghazi delivery penalty. Okay, these are rubber penalty because delivering one by sea using 2 convoys is needed on a fire not control. Okay, so goes 2 of 16% delivery penalty. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not that worried because we are on a positive. Now we're not having most of our fleets are sitting in ports. We have some lighter vessels and submarines out running around. Okay, we have some oil up here. Didn't know Albania had that much oil. And we have this oil down here. Now, compliance, yes, we're fairly compliant here. Resistance is fairly low. I know it's foreign claim state owner. I don't know. So yeah, okay. I think we're okay. So let's get back to building some factories. Where do we want to stick them? Well, you know, let's build a naval factory. Let's get some a little bit more naval production going. I know I need more ships. Okay, well, and whatnot. Get some of that going. Now, outside of getting involved in a ill-chosen war, you know, because again, getting into World War II damages Italy, because you know, is fascism, is Mussolini good for Italy or not? Sort of the question I posed for myself here. Heavy machine guns, cannons, light LMGs. Well, maybe we should. Let's do that. Good for Italy. Now, for a non-fascist like me, because a fascist would believe it's good just because they support fascism. Hello, boring Leopold, how are you? I don't think you are very real. Well, welcome here. I think I'm real. I'm sitting here in California looking at a screen. I'm not a bot, but then of course a bot would say that. So, I don't know. So, a fascist believes in the fascist ideology as basic. I do not. But I'm trying to look at its practical effects on Italy, again, outside of the war. I am boring Leopold. I don't know if that meant that he dug under Leopold digs under the ground, or the non-exciting Leopold. But either way, cool. Good to have you here. So, yeah, I'm staying away from the destruction that's caused to Italy by Mussolini joining the war. So it's up until 1940, looking at Italy. You have problems in Italy. Some of them are that was an Hungarian ship I thought I saw. Flagship. How does Hungary have ships? Did they capture them from Yugoslavia somehow? As war booty? I don't understand that. They don't have a coastline. Technically, it doesn't mean in real life they couldn't have ships. They very well might have, but that's another issue. Because Switzerland had ships during World War II. They, I don't know how many they had. I could maybe look. I have a book. I have a book I read 20 years ago, but I saw the book around here. Neutrals during World War II, and one of the nations I think it was mainly just three nations: Sweden, Switzerland, and I think Spain is what they looked at. But Switzerland did have ships, and you would expect Sweden, obviously, and Spain, because they've got coastline. But Switzerland did have ships, and what they had an agreement was that even after the war, once the war started, they either previously owned ships. Again, they don't have any ports, or they bought ships. But they bought ships. They painted big, huge Swiss flags and whatnot on the sides and on the tops of them, and they told everybody well in advance, the different navies and whatnot, well in advance where they were going in their basic courses. Like we're going from point A to point B, and this is how we're going to. And they set up an agreement with the Western Allies as well as with the Axis that they would basically use Genoa or part of the Genoa port, and they gave money to Italy to do so. And any goods coming in would be offloaded on this special part of the port, and that there were trains that again had big red or white crosses on red fields painted on them, on the tops of them, and the trains would run a general route, probably basically this rail route, to Switzerland and back. And they wouldn't go any other places, they just go here. And these supposedly, and I don't know that they ever were, they would be unchecked by the Italian forces, meaning they weren't going through Italian customs. So whether they were moving guns or butter or something else, Swiss chocolate, I don't know. The ingredients to make Swiss chocolate, because you don't grow it in Switzerland. But whatever it was, it would come into a special part of the port. They would put it in boxcars, and it would be sealed up, and it would just go up to Switzerland, get offloaded, and the trains would come back. So that throughout the war until the fighting never really reached Genoa. Mostly by the time it gets up here, Italy has collapsed, and the Americans, primarily British Commonwealth, were around. They were just mostly occupying northern Italy by that point, because the fighting was happening when there was active fighting, even fighting the Germans. It was down here mostly. So it was running through most of the war. So they did have commercial shipping and official ways of getting stuff out, in and out, during the war. And both sides could, to some degree, stop and inspect the ships at sea, just to make sure that they weren't an Italian ship with a big Swiss flag painted on the top of it or something. But again, they would register when they were sailing and what their general path was, so that there wouldn't be too many mistakes made, in just allowing any ship anywhere else to put a Swiss flag on it and go, hey, that's our ship, don't bomb it, when in really it's an Axis ship or an Allied ship or something. Right. Okay, so back to Italy and fascism. In early 1920s, I would call Italy to be a at best, I would consider it to be a mid-19th century country. Yes, they have some modern industrialization. Have they not fully snuffed all these guys out yet?
Non fermatevi!
But they're going down. Okay, well, whatever. Italy, in the mid-19th century, gets its unification wars, mid to early-ish, sort of right around in there. I'm not exactly sure the date, but in the 19th century, the unification wars, Giuseppe Garibaldi is the main pursuer of Italian unification. One of the main opponents, two I would call main opponents. One was the church, because of the Papal States, and the other was the Austrians, the other big opponent. I'm sure there were others, of course. They fought. Right. Okay. Well, we're going to deal with military cooperation, Dare Doctrine, which grants land doctrine 5%. Nice. Request control of French territories. I think we're going to leave that off for the moment. We're not going to do that at the moment. We may look at that support. No. Albanian oil, which we did get that. Okay, that's why we have oil there. That's useful. New Emperor of Ethiopia. Well, that's gone. That would have been good a while ago, but we completed that. Oh man, we got to be looking at the green one. Different mods use different colors. Okay. So 70 days. Lion Tamer. Party popularity, stability, modifier, surrender, limit damage to garrisons minus. Okay. Yeah, those are basically developed line. Yeah, requires triumph in Africa. Yeah. Super Marina. Ship recovery rate. Well, get us some more naval yards, so we may want to do that. 35 days, that ain't bad. We'll get back to things here. Well, I'm seeing the time. We're going a bit long in this episode, so next episode will be the invasion of Greece, actually, I do believe. So don't worry on the live stream. We're going to keep continuing here. But for those watching later on YouTube, thank you so much. I want to thank Tim, Strongarm, Niagro, Timothy, Sir Toy Jet, and Gary for support on Patreon. But what I really just ask all of you to do is lick the like button. It's tasty. It's nice. Do that. If you're new here, hit the subscribe or follow button. And it's really helpful if you post a comment, even just saying hi gamer. I wish more people would do that. Let me know who's viewing and that kind of thing, even if you're not fully watching the video, though by this point you are. So I would love it if you would do those for me. Thank you so much. See you next time for more, yes, more Hearts of